What's up, everybody? Three and a possible. We are recording here at about 8:30, June 27th. Hawks and Bucks game 3 has just kicked off. We're just kind of going to talk to you guys a little bit about a little conference finals check-in, see what's been going on, see if anybody wants to waffle on their picks. Someone might be looking a little ugly that picked them flippers, but it's all good. It's been some entertaining series. We've had some blowouts. It's been kind of all over the map, but we're going to get into it. I'm Will Starnes.
Devion Hicks.
Joe Davis.
All right, Will Starnes, Devion Hicks, and Joe Davis. Let's get it. All right, we're going to start with Atlanta and Milwaukee. The surprise of the conference finals so far was definitely Trae Young's 48 points, 11 assists in game 1. He could not be stopped. That was very entertaining. For someone that had no rooting interest besides just wanting to be right, I mean, I enjoyed the hell out that first game. That was incredible.
And it's so hard to stop him too when he's getting to the foul line like that. Like it's almost impossible when he bumps into you and then makes a shot and gets an and one. Like what are you supposed to do about that? That's when you know he's cooking.
Yeah, Devion. I mean, what were your kind of overall thoughts? Like, I mean, you gotta at some point just all right, that's just too good. But I mean, there were some things I thought the Bucks kind of did that were pretty stupid, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that entertaining game 1.
With the first game,
yeah,
Trae Young was just being Trae Young, and I think the Bucks it was like a failed Lopez experiment. So I don't know, what they did differently the second game with Lopez, what talk they gave him, it was completely different. It was like night and day. And then Trae Young
they tried to use Lopez like they've used Lopez in both the other series.
True, yeah.
The Heat when they're playing the Heat, they had Lopez guarding Jimmy and just pretty much camping the lane. They did the same thing against Brooklyn. They'd have him guard Bruce Brown and then just camp the lane. But and this is why Kevin Durant was able to go off in that game 5 because they're like, okay, we're just gonna have Brown screen for KD, and then there's just no one there. And they tried that with Trae Young. I mean, Trae Young in terms of just his jump shot and being streaky, he can get as hot as anybody in the NBA. So once he started making them, they either needed to just take Brook Lopez out the game and just play Bobby Portis, who I think we all had kind of talked about as a nice player and could be useful, and that was the player to play there. He's more athletic, and Joe, I think you even maybe commented it on Facebook or something just slide Giannis to the 5.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to. It's just game 1 that was all about because they could have won game 1 in the fourth quarter. They just weren't getting the rebounds. You can't let Josh Collins jump over Giannis and get rebounds. Come on, man. I know he's a good rebounder, but they just were not rebounders.
Specifically a good offensive rebounder. He is one of the league's best offensive rebounders, but I agree. Well, because I think was it the end of the third or the beginning of I think it was the beginning of the fourth. The Bucks the Bucks made a run.
They did.
And I think they kind of thought that the Hawks would just kind of go away. Yeah, fold after that, but Trae Young wasn't going.
He was getting off. Low-key, great passer. Amazing.
Great passer. He was doing he was in one of those zones where everything was just working. He was seeing the floor perfectly.
Exactly. And I like when he doesn't shoot those long range threes. When he's actually driving into the lane and then taking threes later on, that's when he's better. But when he's shooting those shots like he's Steph Curry, he's not Steph. He's a totally different type of player. So I just like when he's attacking because he's really good at passing.
Yeah, he's too fast. His first step is just impossible to stop him once he keeps attacking. He can drive, he can do whatever he wants, and it's just when he does that, he can just score 50 every time.
Because you can't touch him. He's little. You bump him, they're going to call a foul every time because he's undersized.
Yeah, they don't really have an answer for him. It's just he just shot badly the last game. That was it.
But Drew Holiday definitely had a better – Drew Holiday played much better too.
I agree.
In game 1, I don't really understand because someone like Trae Young, you never want to get unattached to, and Drew Holiday was very unattached on defense for some reason. Combined with they were switching quite a bit, and I don't really understand. I think Joe and I had talked about this in our group chat, but I was just, like when you have a Drew Holiday on your team, like that is a strength on defense that you can throw Drew Holiday at somebody that's hot. If you just start switching everything, you just let them move Drew Holiday to the most irrelevant player on their offense. So you kind of lose one of your strengths there. So I think they did a better job not switching as much. Holiday did a better job of just forcing Trae to take the screen. Like, it makes it a little harder to defend it perfectly, but you don't see those plays like, the big famous play of game one where Trae starts dribbling towards the screen and then crossed Drew Holiday real quick, and Drew just started running the whole wrong way, and then Trae Young, and then drilled that three. Like Drew Holiday said, "Okay, you're not going to do that to me."
But when you look at the Bucks, that's what they did all regular season. They switched. They were very lax on defense all regular season compared to what they were the last few years, and they shot a lot of jump shots and threes. You see in the playoffs, when they lose games, it's because they revert back to what they did in the regular season. And when they win games is when Budenholzer actually makes an adjustment. So we'll see if they stick to the adjustments or if they revert back to what they did in the regular season.
Yeah, I kind of get it for this regular season, with the condensed schedule and shortened off season. Like, it makes sense. Like, don't do the thing that's going to be like physically grueling on your team. I get that. But yeah, in the playoffs, like, all right, like, fuck all that. Like, you gotta check ball. Like, you gotta kind of step up there.
And it kind of hurts that when it's a close game, I don't really have that much faith in the Bucks to win a close game. Because who's their closer? It's Chris Middleton. Like, you can't give in the last 2 minutes. You really can't you cannot call a play for Giannis in the last 2 minutes because they're going to foul him. He may make 1 to 2, but they're going to foul him, so you can't even call a play for him.
Giannis actually made 2 big free throws in that game one. It was like 7 seconds left, and he drilled both of them to make it a 1-point game. But Devion, let me ask you about this. Devion, I want to get your opinion on this. So, Chris Middleton, like, Joe identified it in our semis. He's kind of like the guy that is going to determine how far the Bucks do or don't go. Like, his play varies a lot. What do you want to see from? Because even in their blowout, he wasn't really that great. So, like, what do you think? What's the change that the Bucks need to make to get Middleton going? Because they're going to need him if they want to win a championship.
So I was thinking about that the other day, and I'm kind of confused with him because I can understand why he's missing those shots because he is playing hard defense on the other end. He's got to guard number one or number two. So now he has no legs under him. So I think the best thing to do is just I don't know if I want to say this, but it might have to be if you want more out of him for offensively, you probably need to not play him so much on like the number 1 and number 2 options, or keep switching.
Go ahead and say it. Go.
Yeah. Put Drew Holiday on him.
Go ahead and say it. The former defensive player of the year needs to guard somebody. Giannis needs to guard somebody. I know he's doing a lot on offense, but Giannis got to guard somebody every now and then. Come on. Because
I think, I didn't want to say it, but I think Giannis low key. He's got more
what I think really hurts
than
them
everybody else, so he needs to play more defense.
The DiVincenzo loss, I think, is playing a big role in this too, because he's a very good defender, and he's somebody that traditionally could have taken some of that load off of Middleton. Now Middleton's been having to, it's like Middleton's going to have to take some more of that defensive share.
Yeah.
But man, like, I just. Every time, there's certain players, like I would get annoyed this year, for example, when I was watching the Heat play. I would get annoyed with Tyler Hero sometimes because I felt like Hero would like refuse to take the easy shot. Like it always had to turn into like dribble, move, jump shot instead of just coming off of a, get the ball, come off a screen and just pull up. Like when Middleton does that, he's pretty unguardable. I mean, he's a tall dude, releases the ball real high. Like, I just wish he would take some simpler shots early in the game. So then later in the game, if he needs to try and saw somebody up, then he can saw somebody up and get a bucket. but he's in such a funk right now. Like, bro, just take the easy shot. Like and Budenholzer, get him some easy shots. Like, run something for him. You know, but like that just doesn't really seem to be.
And that's the problem too. It seems like dude is not adjusting. He not. You know, it seems like he's taking the same shots in the beginning of the game and at the end. He's not adjusting. He's doing like you saying, 1 2 shoot. He's like, I know I have to play lockup defense. Let me try to take this okay shot that's really, really not a good shot. He just can make them. Just be real with you. So, they got to stop using him as much on defense because when they don't use, even if they use him, though, when he produces, they blow him out.
Who's their two?
John Collins, probably.
I'm talking about the wing players that Chris Middleton.
Gallinari or Bogdanovich.
Yeah,
it has to be.
Like it could really be. It could be like Bogdanovich. It could be Gallinari. It could be Lou Will. It could be Herter.
Like, it's crazy.
It's honestly kind of hard to like say, okay, we're gonna try and give you a break tonight. Go guard.
That's right.
Like, who do you tell them to go guard to get a break?
That's probably why they should have switched, like you said.
Yeah.
Just stick to your man.
It's Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday's gonna have to.
We know Drew's got Trey. Drew, go get Trey. Drew's been fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at
30
him
in both games.
Yeah, I'm not mad at him all. It's just
he's just more than I expected.
We just need more from Giannis. Let's be real.
It's Middleton. Middleton was the difference in them with them losing game 1. Like, obviously, game 2 was a blowout. Like, his poor shooting in game 2 didn't really matter. But game 1, when he was like, 6 of 23? They lose by 3 points.
Can't do that.
Like,
can't do that.
Because, like, obviously, like, from the Hawks' perspective, you don't want to waste 48 and 11 from Trae Young, but you also don't want to waste, like, 30 and 13 from Drew Holiday if you're the Bucks, which they did waste in game 1. So let's transition now to the Hawks' perspective. What do you guys, like, one, do you guys think they can even get back into the series after that beatdown they took the other night in game 2? And then if they are going to get into the game, what do they need to adjust to for games 3, 4, 5, 6, 7?
Don't let the Bucks get to a good start early. Yeah, that's it.
They're fantastic front runners.
That is it. Once they get it going and it's up 30, it's it. But if he like Joe said earlier, I don't have no faith in the Bucks on keeping leads. They can catch up, but it always happens like Giannis and Middleton go get gassed out because they got to do so much to catch up. Let them just play catch up the whole game. That's all they got to do. Run and gun, play catch up, get easy stops, frustrate them. They can win. It'll be close games. I don't see no blowouts, but if that's what you got to do to win, that's what you got to do to win.
Yeah, I think that's the Hawks' advantage, right? Like, I feel like who's the one player in this entire series that you want in clutch time? It's probably Trae Young.
Yes.
Over anybody on the Bucks.
Yes.
All right, just what do you think?
I'm Nate McMillan. I'm telling my team, look at the Bucks last series. They lost by 30 to the Brooklyn Nets without Kyrie and James Harden with a bad hamstring. And they won that series. Last game means nothing. They went on a 20-0 run and we couldn't catch up. We good. We Gucci. Just do what we did in game 1. Keep it close. I have faith that we can win the game in the fourth quarter. That's all I got to do is keep it close. And Trae Young gonna do what he do in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think in order to keep it close, like, because that's obviously like the trick here, right? Like, yeah, it's easy to say like, yeah, we'll keep it close, but what are they going to do to keep it close? I think Trae Young's going to have to be a little smarter in game 3. I think even he would admit that he got a little outside of himself in game 2. You know, you saw the high turnovers. I think he finished with 9 turnovers. I want to say, like turnovers against the Bucks is the absolute worst thing you can do because you let Giannis get an open court. That's at least 2 points.
2 steps. 2 steps.
Yeah, 9 turnovers last game for sure, and had 6 first game.
In the first game, yeah. But that's the thing about Trae Young. I mean, does he really have to have a good shooting night? If he's dishing and timing, I think they'll be okay. As long as he gets 20.
I think he needs to slow the. I disagree with the run and gun. I think they need to slow it down. Play and then try and play matchups, right? Like we know that they've got a bunch of guys that can go off, so find the matchup that's working. Like because the Bucks can't throw Drew Holiday at everybody. They can't throw
You're right.
Middleton at everybody. So I want Trae Young tonight to start it off with trying to find another hot hand. We know he can get hot.
That was on the court in Game 7 against the 76ers.
Yeah, find whoever is going to be the guy that can start giving them buckets. And Herter's been really good for them lately. So if it's him, try and get them going. Get the Bucks focus away from you because I mean he's young, but obviously you have a game where you drop 48 in the playoffs. They're locked the fuck in on you next game.
Mm-hmm.
That shit ain't going to happen again. So take that opportunity to start trying to get other people involved. I love when him and John Collins have some screen and roll options. Same thing with Capella. Try and put the Bucks' weakest defenders. And again, I would keep trying to put Brook Lopez in screen and roll action.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoever he's guarding, just try and pinpoint him because he's a great rim defender. But Trae Young can get that floater game going and start trying to make Brook Lopez away from the rim. Then you can start looking for those big guys.
See, but that's why I said I thought the Hawks should do run and gun starting off because I don't know. It seems like when they do that old Phoenix style of play, it's easier for with Capella to run and gun. He go come catch a oop. Mm-hmm. Collins go come catch a oop. He might put you on a poster. They got 3-point shooters over there, and then now once they start hitting, they can switch over to that man and nothing. They can't really do nothing because even if it's at half court. Middleton gonna be gassed. Just like right now, the score is 25-12 Hawks. Giannis don't got nothing. Middleton he shoot 1 for 3.
Sounds all right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Slow start.
You see with the Hawks, man, and especially
and Trae Young got
if the Hawks start getting those.
He's shooting
if
4.
The Hawks start getting those alley oops in the paint, them half court alley oops and them. It's over. Once they start getting them oops in the lane, it's over.
The thing is, that can be good for a run, but I think in terms of an up and down game, the team that's the best transition team is definitely the Bucks.
Yeah,
playing in transition, you let Giannis get into that kind of game,
you can't stop him
on your head.
The Hawks can only do that for two the first half.
I'm not saying don't ever run. If you have the opportunities, take them.
But Trey's good at that. Trey's good at controlling the pace of the game. He knows when to run. And he knows when to, all right, we need to calm down, slow it up. We missed 3 shots in a row. That's what he did in Game 1 in the fourth quarter when they took the lead and then they lost the lead. He said, "Hold on, wait, let's slow up. Let's run a set play," and they got a 3.
Well, that actually might be the reason they when they win and lose, it is low key because he has great control of the game, and when he loses control of the game, you can tell it is noticeable.
Yeah, when he's pressing, you're right.
You ain't lying about that.
And those long threes that he takes, those are big transition opportunities for the Bucks. Those are long rebounds.
Sometimes
Giannis goes up there and just
worst time.
Yeah.
Come on, man! It was 19 seconds on the shot clock. Come on,
but when you feeling it, when you're a shooter and you feeling it, you I'm about to shoot this.
Yeah, I'm never mad at the first one, but he sometimes will do 3 possessions in a row, brick
just
3 from
low key think he baby still.
He does sometimes.
All right, let's transition to the Western Conference Finals. The Suns are now up 3-1. Kawhi still has not played a game. We kind of talked about this last time. We don't think he's.
What a surprise!
Kawhi's not the type to push through injury.
He's not playing. He's not coming back.
Bro, he probably got a torn ACL or something. Be real short, torn meniscus.
That's what they were.
No, yeah, they ran the test and said no tear in his ACL, but there is some issue. 0
lateral movement. He cannot go left or right at all.
Meniscus.
Yeah,
he done it for a minute.
I know that bad. We know that. I know that for sure.
I'm ACL.
Oh yeah, I did both.
Team ACL. Yeah, I ain't do the meniscus yet. Joe, you lucky bastard. Got your knees intact.
Meniscus was worse than ACL. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah.
Right. Anyways,
let's talk about the flippers, man. Some bogus.
I don't know why you trusted the Clippers, but
you believed in the hype.
So Joe made a bold statement in terms of Devin Booker before the series. He said he wouldn't average more than 21 points a game. He started the series off making you look real dumb when he dropped 40 along with a triple-double. But
Yeah, it was rough.
since then, he's actually been held pretty in check. So without Game 1, you're looking kind of smart. But unfortunately for you, Game 1 happened.
That's because
so,
he broke his nose. That's the only reason he broke his nose.
Whatever. I didn't say nothing about circumstance. I just said he wasn't going to 2-1 in the series. I didn't say nothing about broken nose or nothing. It is what it is.
Man.
All right, so what do you guys, Joe, I'll start with you on this. Joe, what do you think has been the biggest factor in the Suns going up 3-1? Because those first 2 games in Phoenix, really every game, except for the one that the Clippers won, has been pretty down to the wire.
I'm going to say Chris Paul. I'm going to say it was Chris Paul. If they didn't have Chris Paul, I think it would have been a sweep. But they brought Chris Paul back, and it messed up the swing of the game.
All right, Joe.
You mean 4-1?
It messed up the swing of the game. Because they felt that stuff. They was like, oh, man, we can beat them without Chris Paul. We can beat them out with Chris Paul. And we know what it's like. We've seen people when they come back from COVID. We don't know if he had it or not, where they usually don't play great. He hasn't been playing great since he came back. I think he kind of messed up.
Oh, so you're saying that the Suns would have swept?
I think the Suns would have swept. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
No,
okay.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I was going to say, like, Joe, he missed the first 2 games, right? But okay.
Chris Paul coming back messed the Suns up just a little bit because they had to fix him back in there, and he'd been sitting for a while, so, he had to get the feel of the game back. And I think it would have been a sweep.
Yeah, they blowing him out by 15 this next one. Watch. It's they got so lucky Chris Paul was out. D-Book dropped 40 on him. Then he broke his nose. And he got to adjust. You know what I'm saying? The mask all foggy.
Can we take a moment to talk about Pat Beverly?
He's weak. I'm glad.
Bro, Pat Beverly, he just annoys the hell out of me.
Hey, man, he earned his paycheck. That's what he was supposed to do. That's his one job. Seriously.
This man broke Devin Booker's nose and acted like he didn't foul him. He broke his nose and acted like he didn't foul him. I don't know, man. Like, the blood gushing down from Devin Booker's face kind of tells me you probably hit him. Like I get it. Like, like touch fouls. I get, like, when they kind of can get upset about those. Like, I get that.
But when you hit somebody in the face,
you break somebody's nose, like, bro.
This boy got a line this big on his nose. And he's talking like, and look, and that's what I'm saying. And they won one game, and that was
most players would have been like, "Oh man, my bad. I didn't mean to hit you in the face."
Not him, bro. He'll. But I ain't gonna lie to you. I hate it because he against us, but I love that type of player. I ain't gonna lie. If he was on my team, that'd be my boy.
He is absolutely that player that everyone loves when they're on your team, but hate when they're not.
Yeah,
So let's talk about Paul George. PG, like I actually don't want to get too on. I don't want to get too on PG personally myself because he did a lot to carry them to the conference finals once Kawhi went out, and he is having to shoulder a lot without Kawhi out there. Like, if you really think about it, like, be real, who's their next best player? Reggie Jackson or Marcus Morris?
Yep.
And Marcus Morris has a knee injury that he's battling through.
Well, for real, it's been Reggie Jackson this series.
Yeah, this series has been Reggie Jackson. But I'm just saying, it's supposed to be the next, and Terrence Mann's had some good games. But, like, he's having to do a lot. But, man, we all knew it was going to happen after Game 2. They're up 1 point with 7 seconds left, and PG goes to the line and bricks 2 free throws. It's just like, oh, Paul.
Booty P.
I chuckled a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I had a little laugh with it because if you remember last year in the bubble when I think it was the Trailblazers were playing them and Dame missed one at the line.
Anyway,
and then Paul George over there, like, going, like, hitting his wrist like Dame time, like trying to make fun of Dame. But yeah. Ain't so funny now, is it?
Same with when Paul George made that half court shot. I was trying to act like he practiced that shot.
I mean, he does apparently practice the shot, but he definitely doesn't practice banking it in.
When Dame made that on him when he was in OKC, he said it was a lucky shot.
True.
The exact same shot. Like, come on, man, you pay yourself for that. Nah, Dame just shot that shit on you.
All right, so this is what I'm going to ask you guys. I need a percentage blame for Paul George.
Oh, man, he really can't. He got lucky. He can't really take that much blame. That team is not good. They need a facilitator. Without Kawhi Leonard, there's really not much out there. I can't put too much blame on. I give him 20% just because he is the star player.
Devian?
It's my thing. Can you hear me?
20.
Yes, sir.
Man,
Yeah, we got
man, I kept unmuting. I'm gonna try not to be biased. He did good. I ain't gonna lie. Even when he wasn't making his shots, he still found a way to at least get to the free throw line because he's shooting terrible from the field goal. But he is a certified bum for missing both them free throws. And the funny thing about it, and I ain't even gonna cap you down. The funny thing about it, I watched that with the homies, and I said exactly play by play what was gonna happen. I said he gonna miss both on watch, and he said boom. I said, oh, he gonna make this. I said he missing both of them. They said how? I said, bro, I'm a fan of Paul George. I've watched him play so much. I said he gonna blow this game. I said he's gonna be the number one option. He's gonna seem like he's scoring all these points, shooting terrible field goal percentage, but they gonna overlook it because he does the same things James Harden's doing right now, getting to the free throw line, missing crucial moments. He get all the blame. F that. Like he knows like if they win or lose, it's gonna be because of him. It's lit because of him. If he makes both those free throws, realistically, they probably win that game. Let's just be real.
You saying some motivation? I mean, it's a momentum shift.
Yeah,
like when J.R. Smith didn't take the shot, he just kept the rebound and passed it out.
Yeah, so like when he missed both those, you saw right on his face. It was just like, oh, it's over. It's over. But if he made both of that, you look at like when the Bucks play, you notice like when that like the back's against the wall, you can see it on the Bucks like they can't hide it. They're like, oh, we're in trouble. Mm-hmm. And now you got to go to what? You got to go and watch like the Clippers and look. Paul George's like, I blew this. Next game go come. It was like, yeah, you got to win this game. He took advantage of it because of a COVID CP3. And then the next game came back, they blew it again. Because he shot terrible, had 27 or something again, shot like 25%, did the exact same style of play. The only difference was Chris Paul came back, like you said. Chris Paul don't come back, they probably win in full.
Maybe. We'll see.
They suck, bro. Maybe. I don't believe in the hype. It's over tomorrow, bro. It's over, 4-1.
So you're saying they're blowing it up? They're blowing it up then?
It's the Suns are the champions. They are going to win it all. The only way they do not win it all is if something freaky like what's been happening with the Suns keeps happening.
If Giannis don't win it, Giannis got to win it.
You know the thing about it?
Giannis, you're the best in the world. You keep saying you're the best in the world. You got to win it.
See, that's the thing about it.
He just said KD's the best in the world. He already told us. He's
a bum bitch.
I'm gonna go. I'm with Joe on this one. I'm gonna go 20% for PG. He's had his opportunities, but at the end of the day, like I might have to up it a little bit. I'll go 33%. I'll give him a third.
Why is the only answer? Let's just be real. Come on. Let's just keep it real.
I'll give him a third of the pie just because he did cost them game 2 late game. Like he did some good stuff to get them into that position and had some nice clutch buckets. I'm not trying to overlook that. But like you said, if he makes those, Devin Booker was off. Like they just, they weren't, they missed, they took a 3 anyways and missed it. So, yeah, he's got to take blame for that. And game 4, it's just like that's the game. If you're going to be a superstar, you got to find a way to get that one home. Devin Booker fouls out. Like it was at the end, it was PG versus Chris Paul, and he missed some more free throws in that game at the end. It's just like, damn, bro, like what are you doing? Like you gotta,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta,
George.
Yeah,
It's Paul
but
George.
what's crazy is like that just wasn't Paul George when he was in Indiana. Like those Pacers Heat games, like
Bro,
he was a bad motherfucker in those
It
games. Like that,
was in the first
he was pushing the Heat more than really anybody could push him.
You want to hear something crazy? I just talked to my homie about that the other day, and I said all Paul George's career is going to be literally is going to boil down to who he was in Indiana. That's it. People are going to keep hanging on.
Man, because everything else has been a disappointment.
Yeah, he's been this guy from Indiana. It's over. He can only be good if he's the number one option. Now he's going to have to go to another team for him to, be that guy. This is a failed experiment. It's just good player that just.
It's kind of unfair though too what we kind of did to him. A lot of people forget that he had a pretty terrible injury.
Yeah, but that's the
injury. I kind of forget about it sometimes.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like he had a terrible injury that it took 2 years for him to get back from. He's doing great. He's just not Paul George he used to be. But he's still he's a high level
not
player.
Paul George at the very end of the game. Like that's like the only thing that's changed.
Yep.
That's it. It's just
because to me he's honestly better. Like first 45 minutes of the game, like he's a better player than the guy that was in Indiana.
Hands down.
The handles that he's worked on and developed into jump shots, like I mean he's cold, but it's just at the end of the game, it's just something that's like I just don't think you're going to get it done, and he just can't. Like I think Devin Booker is great. I think Chris Paul is all time great, but Paul George should be the best. Like should be better than both of them.
Oh, yep, he should be the best player on the court.
He should be the best player on the court, but he isn't.
No, it's DeAndre Ayton.
I mean, yeah, it's just
it's hard. Hey, he's been balling.
Yeah, he has been
for a reason.
Hey, CP one line. He said he's going to get that bag in the offseason.
In that bag.
But so, what do you guys think the? What do you think? Yeah, Devion, we lost you for a second, but
I think you mute yourself again.
I might be. And you can hear me.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, I'm just impressed with Ayton. That's it. Yeah,
you're impressive.
Yeah, he's just getting better literally as the season. Every game he gets better and better and better, and he's adjusting. You can see it.
One thing that it's not talked about very often, but he's a very smart player, DeAndre Ayton. Like he plays with a really high basketball IQ.
And he may not be the best defender, but he can defend when he wants to. Like, scrub in there. He's just not the greatest defender, but when he locked down, he can lock down.
He's not like a huge liability when he gets brought out to the perimeter, and like that's really all you can ask for. Like, just look at the difference between how they exploited Gobert last series and how they can't do the same thing to DeAndre Ayton. Like, this is not me trying to take like one of my many shots that I like to take at Rudy Gobert's.
You trying to say Terrence Mann ain't gonna dunk on him like he did Rudy?
No.
Not happening.
Not happening.
Terrence Mann wouldn't have even thought about it because he wouldn't have he wouldn't have had like a 10-foot head start to the rim. Ayton would have been in his pocket, but yeah, he's been really impressive. But let's transition to this. What do you guys? What's the one thing? Like obviously, besides just Paul George making more shots, like what is it? What do the Clippers need to do to try and make this a series again?
They need a point guard. They don't have a point guard. They don't have
anybody. They got Rondo.
They don't have anybody who can facilitate. They literally are out there playing. They literally are playing one-on-one ball out there. I don't think there's not much they can do. They needed Kawhi, and Kawhi's not there. And it still would have been a little difficult with Kawhi there.
They're not even using Rondo either. That's the crazy thing. They're not even using him. The only thing they can really...
Not at all.
Besides Kawhi coming back, the only thing they can do to help them win is probably hurt a couple players on the Suns. That's about it.
Straight up.
Yeah, I don't think... bro, you can't... This dude, Devin Booker, dropped 40, and you can see when he hurt his nose, it was a clear difference in his game. Dropped 20-something. Then Chris Paul came back. They both got 15 a pop. And what they lose by like 15 or 20, they come back. He scores 20. You still see he's shooting poor. His shots being affected, and y'all can't beat him. y'all gotta hurt somebody.
And you can't win.
Like, yeah, you gotta send Pat back out there to go finish the job, bro. Because they like COVID can't stop the Suns. A broken nose can't stop him. It's over, bro. It's done. Like
it's over.
Yeah, I think Joe. I think you kind of hit it. I think you hit the nail on the head with. They got to stop playing so much one-on-one basketball.
It's too much.
So this is where I'm going to take a little thing like the media's been running with this. Ty Lue is like maybe the best coach in the NBA, and I
craziness.
Like again wanted to lose my mind. Like I think Ty Lue's a good coach, but like this has kind of been his MO. Like even with the Cavaliers with LeBron and Kyrie, they just play a bunch of one-on-one. Like that's not coaching. Like I think he's a good motivator, and I think he's good at communicating with players because he had a long NBA career, so he understands to a much higher degree what they're going through than a lot of coaches can. But you gotta have some X's and O's too, and it's just so much either ISO for PG or put someone in a pick and roll. Like there's not a lot else that gets drawn up, and especially when Paul George is struggling like this, like you need to get a Reggie Jackson going, a Luke Kennard going.
Luke Kennard, run some plays for him.
Like that's a high IQ basketball player, Luke Kennard. Like they do have a bunch of high IQ guys.
You just said that because he went to Duke. Get out of here, man. High IQ player.
He is a high IQ player.
Get out of here.
He did in Detroit.
You see what they did in Detroit? They said bye bye.
He got paid. The Clippers paid him.
The Clippers paid him. Clippers crazy. Come on, man. High IQ player. He's a good player. Yeah, you just
so is Luke Kennard a good basketball player because of his athleticism?
No.
All right, then what makes him a good basketball player?
Because he can shoot.
He ain't that good of a shooter.
I mean, I don't know. Then you're right. I don't know.
High IQ. I know.
This boy hating.
He knows how to play basketball. That's why.
Man,
yo, I got a question for y'all.
But end of the day, they need to get those other guys going.
They do.
And they're gonna have to do that with offense, not ISO.
We can hear you, Devion.
So let me ask.
You want to mute yourself again? Yeah. You get.
No, because I was looking at these stats and stuff. So yeah, Reggie Jackson doing what he's supposed to do. Paul George, he probably should take 5 less shots, give them to somebody else, and if they hit it like Zubac, let's talk about Zubac for a second. Like, who is this? Like, Zubac, I guess this is what we wanted from him when he was on the Lakers. Because I'm like, who is this dude?
Sometimes. He show flashes sometimes in the next game. You be like, this dude is a bum.
Man, 13 and 14, they lose by 4. He can't be your third best. Real talk, if Paul George took like 5 less shots and Man took 5 more shots, I think that'd be better off.
Yeah, he just scored 40 in a game 7. How do y'all not run more plays? How do y'all not get him involved?
Yeah, they got to pass the torch to him.
Because they didn't run plays from him in that game. All they did was use him and they had him put Rudy Gobert in a screen and roll. They just manipulated Rudy. Like, that's all they did. They didn't do anything special for Terrence Mann. Terrence Mann's not that kind of guy to go isolate with. Like, he's a guy that you can run stuff for. Like, get him.
But when you got a young guy like that and he just had a big game, you think the Miami Heat wouldn't have ran a bunch of plays for Tyler Hero the next game after he had a big game like that?
Exactly. But to see the Heat play completely different. The Heat run offense. They don't just do ISO ball.
That's fair.
But yeah, like, get that man off some curling off some screens and give him the ball on the move. Like, get him. Yeah, he's athletic. Like, dude's should be like a nice little budding player for them, but I have a feeling they're not going to develop him very well.
No, they're
idiots.
And
that's another thing. If Ty Lue wants to be mentioned in best coaches in the league, he's got to be able to develop players, not just work with veterans.
Did you see Steve Ballmer? You see how he looked at the last game? Man, they better get it together.
Man, see, that's the thing about it too. With what is it, man? I'm so mad at them because if I'm being real, like when I'm watching him play, I might be stretching a little bit, but it seems like he is what they want Rondo and Pat Beverly to be in one player. They just can't get it out of him because, like you said, they're not running plays. He's just good enough to go out there and just hoop you. That's it. He's really just out there hooping you, playing rec ball, and you can't stop him because he's like a young player that's like, all right, I'm about to put the defense player on the of the year on the poster. Got momentum. I'm about to do it again. I'm gonna do it every chance I get. And y'all can't get 20 out of him. He kind of reminds me 20 in this season. Man. I mean, this series.
Exactly.
Easily, he should be the second best player in this series right now.
Exactly.
But
he reminds me of a young Jeremiah Grant when he was at OKC. Like, you saw the potential there, like, man, once they run with him. And then when he went to the Nuggets, you saw how good he was.
I hope that's what happens with him.
I think if he's going to reach his ceiling, I think he's probably going to have to get out of LA.
He got to leave because they're not even using Rondo. Like, Rondo is probably like your best bet to control the pace
Rondo
of the game.
and Ty Lue is tight. It don't make sense.
God. But that's the one that doesn't make any sense to me. You're struggling. You need easy buckets.
Get a point guard out there.
Yeah, he will control the pace.
Use Rondo.
That's why I'm like, why are you not playing him? Like,
just tell him don't shoot. If you don't want to shoot, they'll say don't shoot, and he won't shoot.
Like DeMarcus Cousins, I know he's not what he used to be no more, but put him out there and bang Aiden. Like, go literally put him out there to put a body on Aiden, make Aiden frustrated, and just use him for fouls. And then go get easy buckets. I think
the issue they're having is
Aiden is about that life too. Yeah.
Well, I think the problem that the Clippers are having with that is they want Beverly out there to go bother Booker because at this point Beverly is in Booker's head. Like, I mean, I don't like him, and like I think he kind of got it in a bogus way by kind of injuring him, but nonetheless he's in his head. So that means they'd either have to pull Terrence Mann out for Rondo or take the guy that they think is bothering Devin Booker. Because we saw what happened when Rondo started game one. Booker, 40, you know. So I think that's why they're not using Rondo. I think they could potentially try to get away with sliding PG to the 4. Like, especially if Marcus Morris is injured. Like, at this point, you got to kind of go for it. If you're just going to straight do matchups.
Really.
I forgot about Marcus Morris being hurt.
That's why I was
put Beverly on Booker. You can keep Beverly on Booker, put Terrence Mann on CP, and then just throw Rondo at, like, Bridges. You know, like, Bridges isn't like he's not going to create his own offense. Like, Rondo should be able to handle that. Like, that's, I think, would be like because they go small anyways. Like, they put Jay Crowder at the 4, so PG could match up with Crowder.
True.
So that would be, I think, the adjustment I would make if I were them. Like, I would stop using Marcus Morris in the starting lineup, cut his minutes down, try to make his minutes just as effective as possible. But
if you do that, like he's like two-way.
Can you give him to Zubac?
Yeah, like he's both ways. So now you got a two-way player, especially like Morris. He's one of those people like I would try to get him. I would try to get him involved as early as possible every game because once he starts hitting threes, the momentum. I think
move him to the bench unit.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let him run with the bench, that's like cool. The bench, the second unit to just be the scorer.
Once you pass him the ball, he's not passing it back.
But you don't need him to do that with the second unit because he's gonna go get the momentum and look at the way he talked to those young players. Like, no, keep shooting. You need that out there, especially in like playoff ball. Like, you know, take advantage of a D book. He's still scoring. Like, this dude's shooting like 20-some%. He's still scoring 25, 21. You know, take advantage of him. Get in that man's head, foul, do whatever you got.
He's getting to the free throw line.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's it. But yeah, Morris, I'm cool with him being on the second unit. Get him involved as early as possible. He a big part. Like, he's a huge part of why they could win the game. Because besides that, it's just like it's
a second
over, bro.
Unit of
like,
Reggie Jackson and Marcus Morris could be decent, but yeah, I think it's over. I think it's going to probably end in 5, and tomorrow give them some time off to see who they play between Milwaukee and Atlanta.
Yeah, because the crucial
the
players that they need
check in.
suck. They suck. Let me just say that Clippers suck. and I'm glad.
Suck.
We will
They
end
suck.
the show on the
Never put my
Clippers
faith in them again.
suck. That's how we'll
Flipping ass
send this
Clippers.
one off. All right, y'all. We'll catch y'all next week with hopefully a finals preview.
Yes, sir.
Might have to wait a little bit because I don't know if this Hawks-Bucks series will quite be over, but it's almost that time. All right, y'all.
Peace.
All right.